Welcome to Phidius War Journal, episode 11. Alright, so we're going to get into a continuation of our training game where our platoon leader is KNA Burge, and he is a newer level officer in Raiders Con, hosting this training game. So in the previous episode, we were dealing with Greece. Greece had started to invade Turkey, and there was a little bit of conflict there, but we were able to take it over quite well. And in this episode, I'd like to feature Canadian Joe. Canadian Joe is a commander. Joe McKenzie is a proud son of the North, known for leading with heart, humor, and an unbreakable moral compass. Rising through the ranks, not by ambition, but unwavering loyalty. Joe inspires his troops with direct, passionate speeches, often delivered over a hot cup of Tom Hortons coffee. He favors diplomacy and fairness, but is no stranger in standing his ground when its principles are challenged. His leadership styles blends firm discipline with neighborly spirit. Tough when needed, but always human. Oh, and look over here. We have some of Iran's Air Force by Fagari, the philosopher. He was featured in our Alliance versus Alliance match, and he is now one of our team members in this game. So his Air Forces are looking mighty stacked. Those stack of Air Force jets right there. So Commander Joe, also known as Canadian Joe, his signature traits: he wears a maple leaf insignia attached by his stitched by his grandmother, and he's a very wholesome guy. Insists on daily moments of gratitude among his soldiers. Believes in honor is measured not by victory, but how you treat the defeated. Motto: kindness is strength, but push us too far, and you'll find that strength and kindness is met with force. The steel gauntlet. Alright, so Canadian Joe has pressed all the way from here, Saudi Arabia, down the African east coast, and has reached the southern tip of South Africa. Here you can see his player profile. Canadian Joe, he's a first-class private, and he has been learning much about this game and doing remarkably well. We're proud to have him on board. He is showing great enthusiasm, competence, and just learning how to lead the Saudi Arabia forces. So he is a captain of his troops, and the platoon leader is KNA Burge. I'm playing as Phidius, the commander of Syria, and here we have Syria, and we got a breaking news report. Turkey, our alliance member, coalition member, has abandoned his nation. So KNA Burge is instructing us that we need to protect this land here, Turkey. So it was nice having this area guarded, but we don't want to have this as an open region. So we're going to go ahead and declare war on the nation of Turkey, since their leader has abandoned the nation. And it's always kind of sad to lose a coalition member. You hope when you start a game that you guys could finish together strong. And so we're going to have to go ahead and secure this area. I have a airstrip on this island, and I wasn't planning on using it on Turkey, more as a area to take over that space from Greece to the left, to the west. But here, I'm going to go ahead and send in the helicopter unit to clear out any forces in that city. We had I have a good idea of what's on his what troops he had. He only had troops in the cities, not in the provinces. So I'll send over the helicopter unit to clear out the forces in that city. And he has frigates in the naval bases on the north and the south naval cities. So I can direct my airborne. I'm going to go ahead and split them up into 4 different groups. So the helicopters will go over and clear out the city troops, and then the airborne rangers will try to stay inland, taking those provinces straight over to the city capital. I want to stay inland because if I get too close to the coast, his frigates might be able to fire upon me. Now, you can see in that blue dot on that southern city, that's where the frigate is for the southern city. And that's going to pose a danger mainly to my helicopters. Now, I noticed through this action that the actual airborne infantry never had a chance to be targeted by the frigate. So I don't know if they will target the airborne infantry at all, but I was able to advance on Turkey's provinces without any issues to my airborne as they fly over in helicopters. Their first attack round is with helicopters, and then it takes them about an hour to disembark and take over each province. Here I'm noticing that my naval helicopter that was patrolling in that area, after I declared war, his frigate did fire upon it. So I'll go ahead and retract that naval helicopter's presence from the area and just carry out the operation, focusing on his land troops. At this point of the game, Canadian Joe is starting to build his navy up, and we will have his naval support in the area soon. So, taking a look back in Africa, over here, we could have expansion to Algeria to the west, and we'll probably get into that, but I'm still trying to protect the southern border of Libya, as Nigeria is taking a strong presence in the game and has so far been collaborative, but he's also an opportunist, taking over any area he has. Iran and is Fagari, and he has been doing good with his air forces. So I have my airborne leader, and he's going to be leading the assault in Turkey, he's charged with taking over all these provinces with his command unit. As you start to expand and capture cities, one thing that you might want to do is, if there's army bases left in the city, you may wish to demolish those because they will suck up cash resources from your national treasury. And until you annex a city, that army base is just sitting there taking up your cash resources. So I like to demilitarize zones that I take over, especially if there's a chance that they can be recaptured by enemy territory. So here's a look at my current stock of money. Production is good. It's been tight in the beginning of the game. A lot of times building projects or building troops, maintaining your army, they do require a good amount of money resources, and until you expand, money is tight. So I'm producing 22,000 a day. Manpower's also been pretty short. That's why building helicopters is good. It doesn't take a lot of manpower, but if I was trying to build a larger army, the manpower would be a concern. Electronics is something that I focused on since the beginning of the game, and fuel as well. If you go back to the previous episode 10 of Phidius War Journal, I talk about fuel is important in the very beginning of the game, and then you want to follow up with your electronics production. That's especially true if you're focusing on Air Force or Navy. You can see my components has steadily increased 4,700 per day supply, and my supplies are around 6,800 per day. You've really taken off when you get to 10,000 supplies a day. That's when you're in the top spot. So I'm still building supplies, and my economics, you want to continually be producing those. So let's take a look at our naval helicopters and our naval support units. This is my first game where I'm producing naval helicopters, and I'm able to do that because of my coalition is allowing me to focus on building my helicopters. And I really do want to protect this canal here. Now that we are starting to get some Navy production with the loss of Turkey, Canadian Joe is producing a Navy, and I have a naval helicopter here at the south watching this port of entry. Starting off, these naval helicopters are not too powerful. They do about 2 points of damage to ships, as you can see here. So maybe if you get a stack of 5 of those, they'll do 10 points of damage, and it would take 2 rounds of combat to take out a serious sized vessel, such as a corvette or destroyer. Battleships have much more hit points, so that would be a much thicker war. The good thing about these is if you're going to really focus on protecting your shores with the naval helicopters, they do power up nicely. So it does take, it's not until like around day 15, day 20, when you can start upgrading them more to attack surface vessels. In the beginning, they're much better against submarines, and basically being a deterrent to fend off enemy ships until Navy reinforcements can come. So at this point in the game, you do want to focus on your research more, and now that you start having a army to work with and you're able to expand on your territory, you need to make sure to keep upgrading your core units. In my case, it's helicopters. So on the very left are the gunships, and I try to get the first increment is for armor. Bulletproofing them will give them more hit points, and then the third section that I'm upgrading now is fuel optimization measures. So that'll increase the gunship's range, how far it can fly from its airport or airstrip. The second helicopter is the attack helicopter, and those are really good against hard targets such as tanks and fighting vehicles. Also recon and support vehicles. Thankfully, I haven't had any tanks try to roll up on me yet, but having these will definitely help you survive an invasion with hard targets. And then to the right, you'll see the Navy helicopter. And there's quite a bit of research you could do within the first 10 days there. So right now I'm doing the engine upgrade, and that will increase its range. And then next I'll do the sight capacity, so they could see further, detect submarines in a larger area. I think they use buoys and other sound amplifiers to help their sonar to detect submarines. And then in the incoming days, I'll be able to improve the helicopters with missiles and other measures. Something I might want to get into is some of my elite flying vehicles for the helicopters. This is the elite helicopter here. It's overall better than a gunship or attack helicopter, especially against hard targets. So quite a bit upgrade on attack against hard targets with a 10 attack and 4 against soft targets, as well as gives you a little boost on against ships as well. And another elite vehicle that I might consider is the submarine. This submarine is good on along the coast, actually. So you have your regular submarines that are good at deep sea, and then those elite submarines are good along the coast. So definitely interested in trying to produce those at some point in time. But right now, just focusing on the core units. I've had a lot of team members talk about special forces. Special forces, I'm going to save for a future episode as we play with some more advanced players that can really show off their capabilities. I know there's a lot of anxious talk about special forces, but just to give you an inside tip, they do operate similar to Airborne Infantry, how they attack. And the thing about special forces is they are unable to capture territory. What I'd like to highlight here is some breaking news that my airborne assault leader has airdropped into a rather sticky situation. Here he is left alone fighting a recon vehicle, and he's also got a ship in the harbor there protecting him. So yeah, Chuck Norris, he's a pretty bad man, and he's taking on this troop, but I'm not sure if he's going to survive this encounter. So we'll have to stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Phidius out.